What's going on, Walking Dead fans? This is my review for Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 9, titled Things Left to Do. Now, last week, John Dorie was killed off by Dakota. And I thought this could really hurt the show. This could be a Glenn, Abraham, Carl kind of moment where ratings go down, people are pissed because a fan favourite is killed. And I was a bit shocked about the scene. I wasn't expecting it, and I was a bit sad, and I like the character, he reminds me a bit of Rick, kind of that sheriff, former cop who's trying to do the right thing and is kind of bogged down by all the grief that he's gone through. But he died last week. He was killed off, okay? And we found out later that the actor Garrett Dillahunt wanted to leave the show. Okay, so that's fair enough. That's okay. But it still could hurt the show going forward. But actually, it's actually helped the show in a way because it's actually expanded the story, it's improved the story, and it's improved character arcs that we see in this episode. Now, by the end of the episode, June, her character is evolved and is kind of upgraded in a way because of John Dorie's death. So in a way, it actually did help. And the writing team deserves praise because it could have been bad. It could have been really bad. But the way they did it last week with Dakota, following into this week's episode, by the end, it was perfect. It was really, really good. I still want John to come back, but he's never coming back at this stage. But this episode, okay, was really good. Top notch, absolutely loved it. Now, there is some problem with the editing, stuff like that, and a recurring theme in this episode is you can't kill me because I got this. You can't kill me, I got this. You can't do it. That kind of happened maybe too often in this episode, but to be honest, that was something that all the characters had over each other. Morgan was like, you can't kill me because I got Dakota, and then Virginia's like, you can't kill me because I got Daniel and Luciana, I think it is. Or Grace is the pregnant lady, yeah. Morgan likes her a lot. So, that was the kind of episode. And the main kind of plot for this episode is a standoff occurs between Virginia and her Rangers and Morgan's group. Ginny has made a lot of enemies and is finally catching up to her. So Virginia, of course, everyone wants to kill Virginia. Morgan wants to do it. Dakota wants her dead. Sherry's group wants her dead. Strand wants her dead. Everyone wants Virginia dead because she was this dictator, a midlife kind of, even though she was providing life for people, she was very controlling. Virginia was very controlling and she did some bad shit. But we find out in this episode, the reason she did that bad shit was because she wanted to make a better life for her daughter, and her daughter is Dakota, not her sister. So I thought it was interesting. We opened the episode with June burying John Dorie, and she's there, and I thought it was a nice shot as well where she picks up his gun, she has it in his hands, and then kind of Virginia's right hand man, the Ranger, says, put that gun down. I bet you it's not for sentimental value. That was a pretty cool line as well. And then Virginia's coming over and is like, what are you doing? I give you a second chance. I give you time to bury your husband, stuff like that. And then June's like, I saved your life twice. Why did your sister kill my husband? And Virginia wouldn't answer, so that was kind of a cool scene there. And then we go to Lawton, the kind of Negan 2.0 kind of lineup of people. You got Daniel there, Luciana, Grace, June is there, a few others as well, and Virginia's like, okay, someone tell me, where is my daughter, or actually nobody knows that's their daughter yet. Where is Dakota? Where's my sister? Tell me now, or I'm going to end up killing people here. And Daniel gets hit across the head. He's opened up, and it looks like that maybe Virginia's going to kill Grace and her baby. Pretty dark. But then Morgan shows up. Morgan shows up in the horse out of nowhere, which is kind of a shock. And, you got Strand there as well, who's kind of working for Virginia. But we find out what he was doing. He was doing all this time as well. But Morgan's like, I have your sister. But first, I'm telling all these people what's actually going on about your sister. Your sister killed the people in Lawton. You tried to cover it up. She killed John Dorie, So, and Virginia's trying to get him to shut up because it's revealing all of her darkest secrets. And then her Rangers are like questioning Virginia's leadership. And that's when Strand comes in and is like, you know what? All this time I've been pretending to be your right hand, left hand man because the other guy was kind of more of a right hand man. I was building my own army. So it looks like that Strand was getting the Rangers to convert to his side. So then there's a shootout then between kind of the kind of Virginia's Rangers who were dedicated to her, the group that Strand was able to turn over to him, which are also Rangers. Then you got Morgan there as well, and you got the other kind of survivors, his family, his group, trying to get away as well. And Strand actually shoots Virginia in the shoulder, and here's where some bad editing came into the episode. Okay, so when she gets shot in the shoulder, the very next scene, she's holding Grace, gunpoint, saying, nobody move, stuff like that. And it just kind of, the editing there was not the best. But it was still kind of a cool scene. A shootout happened then with the Rangers and Strand's Rangers, and Morgan was trying to get Virginia. Now, we know that Dakota's the one who saved Morgan, but Morgan doesn't want the reason he's still alive to kill Virginia, because Dakota wanted Morgan to kill Virginia. That's why she saved his life. But Morgan doesn't want the reason that he's still alive is to be the one who kills her, in a way, But he's trying to do the right thing because he wants to build his own community. But within this shootout, of course, Virginia tells her right-hand man, I don't know his name, to take Grace and Daniel away, hold them hostage, bit of leverage, and before Virginia can get away, Morgan gets her at axe point and is like, bring them back now. And then Virginia's like, no, I won't, you give me my sister, I'll give you them back. So that's kind of what happened there, and Morgan is able to run away with Virginia in the car, get in the car and get away, and Strand's like, stop, give me Virginia, we'll find you, Morgan, because Strand wants to kill her. Everyone wants to kill Virginia, and they just don't want to kill her, put a gun to her head and blow her head off. They probably want to torture her, hang her, stuff like that for all the shit that she has gone through. So Morgan brings Virginia to the water tower, of course. We've seen that in the earlier episode 1 of this season. And in that scene, it's revealed that Virginia was not protecting her sister, but her daughter, Dakota. And Morgan shows Virginia her handwriting on the letter, on the note, when he was saved by her. And that's what has driven Virginia to be this way, was to save her daughter. And Morgan doesn't want to kill Virginia, as I said, for the reasons why. But Morgan will bring Virginia to Dakota, so Virginia can tell Dakota what actually has happened all these years. And Virginia talks about she had a bad upbringing, she was young, her parents were ashamed of her, so she had the baby, but it was her sister then. So that's kind of what happened there. But in this kind of scene as well, Sherry's group, they're in this kind of SWAT tank as well, which is pretty cool. That's pretty useful in a zombie apocalypse. They come, all the guys and girls, in that kind of weird face mask. And they come and they're trying to kill Dakota. Morgan's trying to get away. They get away in the car, but then the car runs out of oil or petrol, and they have to jump out and start running. But Virginia's in a lot of pain because she got shot by Strand. She's not looking good whatsoever. She's going to die because the bullet's still in her body. But they eventually get away. But Sherry's able to catch up to them, and before Sherry can kill Virginia, Morgan stops Sherry because, look, everyone wants her dead, but if you kill Virginia, that means Grace dies. That means other people die as well. So that's why Morgan is trying to keep her alive. And he's able to stop Sherry from doing it. And then they get away. So, but Morgan's able to bring Virginia back to this kind of water dam place. It used to be a water dam. I think it's a very safe place anyway. And this is where Morgan's trying to build his new community. And so you've got Alicia there. You've got Dwight there as well. So they actually have a farm going, a church. They're actually building a nice community there of people. So that's what Morgan's vision is for the world. And of course they have Dakota there as well, locked up in the church, and she can't get away because why would you let her out walking around this community when she killed John Dory in the previous episode, and in other episodes killing other people as well? So she's a bit effed up in the head. But yeah, but it gets to a point where they're inside the community. Strand's Rangers show up, and then also Sherry's group show up in the tank, and they're outside. And Morgan doesn't want a war to happen over Virginia. He wants to keep his community intact, but Strand is willing to knock down the walls, per se, and so is Sherry's group, to get Virginia so they can kill her. But Morgan's trying to negotiate something, trying to make something work, and his overall plan is to maybe let Virginia go away with Dakota, let them just run off and survive. But Morgan knows he can't do that right now because of who's outside the gates. So Virginia comes up with a plan. Look, Morgan, I will let you be the one that kills me, but let Dakota live her life out here. Let her live. I only want you to kill me, because Virginia knows that if she lets Strand do it, or Sherry's group, she'll be tortured, she'll be hanged, it'll be a brutal kill, maybe turned into a walker. She wants Morgan to be the one that does it. So Morgan brings Virginia outside of the community. She puts her head against a rock, and he's going to decapitate her head. He's going to chop her head off. And that's a pretty dark thing right there. And I want to say the acting from the Virginian actress, brilliant. Absolutely fantastic stuff from her. And you got Strand's group there as well, and the Rangers, and they're all watching. But they want to be the ones that do it. But Morgan says, no, I'll do it. And he's ready to just chop her head off with her axe, Virginia's head. And brilliant scene. A lot of tension. Great acting from all the actors as well. But Morgan can't do it. And Virginia's like, just do it, goddammit, do it. What are you waiting for? And Morgan just can't do it. And Morgan's kind of outline here is, we want to be better than Virginia. But us killing her this way, by building this community, starting with a debt, makes us as bad as her. And Morgan's kind of thinking is very is very much different from a Negan or a Rick, because to have Alexandria, to have the sanctuary, was based on killing people, was deaths. But Morgan didn't want that. Morgan wanted to have this community start off in the right way by building it in the right way, not by killing somebody to have this community. That's what Morgan wanted, because Morgan knew if he did this outside of these walls of the community, it would rotten the community already before it even starts to be one. So I thought that was pretty cool. And Morgan's like, she won't die. She's not going to die, because the community like this will not be built on this kind of thing. You know, and Morgan's not having any of it whatsoever. He brings Virginia back into the community walls, and then you got Strand's group there as well. You've got Sherry's group, and they're not too happy whatsoever. So you think that's not the last of it in any way. And amongst all this as well, you got Grace comes back, and Daniel, they're brought back because Virginia said, look, I'll bring them back if you're the one that kills me. But Morgan doesn't want to do it anyway, so they're back in the community. And Sherry kind of gives Dwight a tough time. I don't know about Sherry. Like, I thought they were in love. She left in the main show, The Walking Dead, and we found her in fear then. Dwight did the same, and now they've met each other again, but they don't want to be together. Well, Dwight does, but Sherry's being kind of a, you know, not too nice to him. And I don't really like that. You know, tell him that you don't want him to be with you anymore, and then just leave that kind of arc alone, because Dwight's getting played around a lot, which I don't like. Sherry's upset with Dwight. She leaves, and Alicia and Strand have a conversation as well after all of this has gone down. And Alicia is like, just come to this community, Strand. Stay here with us. And Strand, of course, being kind of stubborn, wants his own thing. He wanted Virginia dead. He now is probably the sheriff or the main guy at Lawton, so he wants to just go his own direction. But there's definitely tension there between the two groups. And Strand is a character that was always kind of sleazy in a way, but right now he just seems very stubborn. So we'll see how that develops, definitely. But they're broken up, and Strand is definitely going his own way as the leader of Lawton. But back within this community, Morgan has decided to let Virginia leave. Alive, of course, and she can take her daughter, Dakota. And they can go, but they can never be around these parts again. They go have a new life for themselves, and they're gone. Morgan shows them a way to go, so the Rangers won't get them. So we think everything is going to be okay. June, of course, is part of this community now as well. She kind of fixes Virginia's bullet wound. She takes it out, fixes her up, straps her up and stuff like that. And she wakes up, and Alicia's there, June and Morgan tells her what is going down. Morgan and Alicia leave to get Dakota so they can bring her back to Virginia, and they can leave. And then within this kind of church is June and Virginia. And June is changing her strapping, her wound strapping. And then they're having a conversation about, June talks about how she lost her daughter, and like how maybe these teens come back around. Now she's lost her husband. And I think kind of Virginia slips a little bit, because she goes, I would do anything for my daughter as well. I don't think June knew at that stage, maybe she did, maybe she didn't, that Dakota was the daughter of Virginia. But it's so funny, because June, within this episode, turns into an absolute badass. And I talked about how last week's death of John Dory could kill the show, but it actually has gave the show a new lease of life. Big time. And it's actually improved the character of June. And June's a character that I can't wait to see in the coming episodes, and to see what she does, where does she go, because she's definitely changed. And she turns around and she raises her gun up to Virginia. Virginia's pleading, no, don't do it, don't do it. And I was like, is she actually going to do it? This is pretty badass now. And I thought for a second maybe Morgan would come back in and stop her and talk her out of it or something like that. But she blows Virginia's head off. And it was actually a very graphic scene where Virginia's laid across the bed. There's blood just bursting out through her head where the bullet went in. And June leaves. And it was a pretty graphic scene, and I'm shocked that they actually showed it. But it's good because The Walking Dead is showing that kind of stuff, because it makes it better. So June leaves. Morgan's like, what did you do, June? June is just ignoring everyone. She puts on John Dory's hat. She has his gun. She walks off. She leaves the community. And it was a pretty badass scene, because the score started to kick in. Everyone in the community was looking at June, you know, like, oh my God, what did she do? But nobody was kind of saying what she did was bad, because everyone hated Virginia. And they understood why June did this, because she lost her husband because of Virginia and her daughter, Dakota. So Dakota runs in and she's screaming, no, no, no. And I think Dakota now wants to keep Virginia alive, because was actually her mother this whole time, and she kind of understands why she did the things that she did. But now she's lost her mother, not just her sister, but her mother now, that she only found out like a few minutes beforehand. And June leaves, Morgan's looking, and what Morgan wanted to prevent was for this community to not start because they killed somebody. But the community has started, but a death occurs within the community straight away. That's nearly worse. So I think that was pretty interesting. But the episode ended then with June going off, leaving. I don't know where she's going to go. But this episode, again, guys, was absolutely brilliant. Bar that little editing kind of flaw in the shootout in Lawton, I think it was a near perfect episode. Some of the acting, the dialogue, the interaction was brilliant. I love Morgan Jones as a character. Such a great character of the Walking Dead universe. The actress that did Virginia, amazing job. Awesome stuff. June has a new kind of release to her character now, which I'm interested to see. What's Strang going to do at Lawton? Where's Sherry's group gone? What does Dwight do now? Who is this greater threat that's coming? Because Virginia was building an army against this greater threat. Who is this greater threat? We've yet to see them. So that could be something that develops for the rest of this season. But yeah, this season for Fear the Walking Dead, I did say a few months ago, is some of the best television that's on television right now, and Fear the Walking Dead is that. It's absolutely fantastic, and it's uphold this kind of great writing and amazing cinematography and shots and score. So hopefully the rest of the season is good, and if the rest of the season is as good as the previous 9 episodes, then this has to be one of the best Walking Dead universe episodes. That includes World Beyond, the main show, and Fear, because it's absolutely brilliant. But guys, what was your thoughts on Things Left to Do, episode 9 of season 6 of Fear the Walking Dead? What was your thoughts? Let me know below. Do you like where we're going with June? Virginia's dead now. We all hated Virginia, but I think the actress did an amazing job for us to hate her because she was top notch. And Morgan's new community is built, but how long will it last? Guys, give a like, comment, subscribe, come follow me on all the social medias for more updates, and hit the notifications so you never miss any of my posts. I do movie news, TV news, reviews in written form, but then I also come here and do videos as well for you guys. So please subscribe so you don't miss a video. I do Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, and World Beyond reviews and discussions, so that's pretty awesome if you guys are interested in that. But guys, I'll check you out in the next one. Come back to the channel, watch some more of these videos, because I'm going to get deep into the lore of The Walking Dead for future videos. So guys, thanks for watching, enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one.